Good morning, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, as well as Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to thank you guys for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. So let's get open for business here and let's wake up the football gods. Wake up here, guys. Wake up. There we go. Wake up. Make sure you guys hit the like button, man, so that way we get the likes and stuff going on. Here we are. It is Taco Tuesday. Man, these weeks of the season have been literally flying by, and we are deep getting in prepared for the Minnesota Vikings. Coming off the bye week, this hopefully is a chance for the Dallas Cowboys to really catch their breath and really focus on actually the game plans. This season has been crazy. Let's be honest. I have to give Philly 500 credit because he said something, and it's very rare. It's very rare that Philly 500 says something that's actually correct. But he said that the Eagles would have the advantage over all the other teams in the division because they had the same coaching staff, they had the same quarterback and scheme and all that, and that they should be able to hit the ground running. He said, you look, of course, at the Washington football team, a team that lost their name. Ron Rivera coming in. You look at Joe Judge and Jason Garrett going to New York. And you look at Mike McCarthy coming to Dallas. On a regular year, it's hard to get everybody on track. But losing those OTA practices, not being able to go to facilities and stuff until late into the process, being the new coach, it does make it difficult for teams that change coaches to catch up. I mean, it's just a fact. This 2-week period is almost like training camp. Understand, we had 14 padded practice. Now, we didn't practice all those days, but this is time that you can go ahead and say, hey, guys, this is what we want to focus on for the Minnesota Vikings, okay? Here's some extra book work to take home and study because the players, they're not going anywhere. They can't leave town. There's not a lot you can do. You've got the whole COVID protocol. You've got, 5 people that were on the list. Andy Dalton's off. Tyron Crawford should be off the list, they said, as well, soon, too. So understanding that there's not a whole lot we can do, let's focus in on football and the game plan. I think that would be the thing that I would say they should do. And maybe you'll see them on a better page. Now, I don't know if this is correct or not, but you've seen the defense after looking completely atrocious. And believe me, we still have a lot of bad plays that have been happening. But you can see them beginning to understand where they're supposed to be and understand how they're playing. The influx of youth that the defense, after being the worst historically, has started kind of turning things around. And if we had Dak Prescott right now, all of a sudden, we would be running away with the division. Let's be honest here. We'd be running away with the division. But we've gone to, from Dak to Andy Dalton, and Andy Dalton getting jacked up and knocked out, to Ben DiNucci, who was not ready in any stretch of the imagination, to Double G, okay, coming through and having a pretty good game. And it seems like Double G had some kind of chemistry going with the offense. We didn't win the game, but we were going against the Steelers that have 9 wins. And to put that in perspective, our whole division has 10. But we went toe-to-toe and had a chance to win that game in the end. We had a chance with the Eagles. We had some things that went against us, a bad play here, a bad call there. The Eagles should have lost to us. They should have lost to the Giants the first time. The Eagles are not a good team, and they've got a rough schedule. They have, I think, the worst schedule left in the NFL. Cowboys have the easiest left in the NFL. It's conceivable that the Cowboys could win a couple of games and get right back in here. Or it's conceivable that we don't win anymore and the season's just a bust. Now, we take on the Minnesota Vikings. The Minnesota Vikings played last night. They're on a short week. Amazingly enough, the Cowboys, depending on which sites you looked at, opened up as an 8.5 to 9.5 point underdog. Big time. I'm not sure. I think I would take that bet. I think I would take that bet. I'm still not impressed by Kirk Cousins. Now, as we go through, here's what I want you guys, because we got all the Dak Prescott haters out here. Do you realize that Kirk Cousins is guaranteed right now to make over $200 million in his career? Kirk Cousins. You do realize that at the beginning, beginning of the offseason, that 2-year deal that he signed, which was fully guaranteed 3 years, $28 million a year. This year was the last year of that deal. They added 2 more guaranteed years at $33 million a year. $33 million a year. And understand this. Going into last night's game, Kirk Cousins still had not caught up to Dak Prescott's yards that he was throwing this season. Kirk Cousins, 17 TDs, 11 interceptions. 17 TDs, 11 interceptions. Kirk Cousins, who in his career thus far has had been part of 3 winning seasons. So as we think about Dak Prescott and saying, oh my God, you can't pay Dak Prescott, the franchise tag, that 37, or get him a long-term deal at, $40 million. Kirk Cousins is getting 33. Carson Wentz is getting 33. Jared Goff is getting 33. Deshaun Watson's getting 39. So as we look at this, just hypothetically, the going rate for quarterbacks, because you're not seeing any quarterbacks that are signing under 30. If you're telling me that Kirk Cousins is a $33 million man and Carson Wentz is a $33 million man, how is it you think that Dak should be 25? Just saying. But back to Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins and the Minnesota Vikings, they got the win last night, coming from behind, 19-13. And the Bears are who we thought they were, and they stink. The Vikings, 4-5, haven't been great, but they've played better lately. I think winning 3 of the last 4, including a victory over Green Bay, and are playing with a little momentum. They're still an ugly team. I think the Cowboys got a chance on them. I really do. They may fall short, but I still believe that they got a chance. I'm not sold on Kirk Cousins. That is Kirk Cousins, literally the first Monday night victory of his career. Out of 10 games, he's got 1 Monday night. Now, for our Cowboys, Andy Dalton was back at practice yesterday. He's cleared both protocols, concussion as well as COVID. They basically have not made a decision on who's going to be the starting quarterback. They're going to go through practice, not a game now. We talk about practice on who's going to be the starter. I can't tell you who it's going to be. I wish I knew. I think you stick with Double G, personally. I like to see what I can get from that guy and try and make a determination if that's the guy I want to have as my backup quarterback for next year. I know what I got with Andy Dalton, and it seems like the team responded well to Double G. So we'll have to wait and see what happens this week in practice. But the Cowboys, I'm hoping, under Mike McCarthy, change the narrative, because much like the Eagles coming out of a bye week, under Jason Garrett, when we would come out of a bye week, usually we would not play very well. We had, I believe, a losing record out of the bye week. I'm hoping that this year is the year that we kind of turn that around and start getting some advantages through there. So that's all we got going on today, y'all. I appreciate everybody who came in on our live stream last night. I know this has been a rough season for all of us. In fact, this has been a rough year for all of us. But I want to make sure that Jessica Haggerty, I'm concerned about her. I know she told us a couple days ago she was waiting on a COVID test and she had flu symptoms and couldn't smell anything. My thoughts and prayers are with you, as well as I've got a lot of people have reached out that have lost family members, much like I have. It's hard, and you wish you had the words to say to somebody about losing a loved one, but there really isn't. But they say time heals all wounds. All right, y'all. I hope you have a great Taco Tuesday. And any news on the Dallas Cowboys, we'll be sure to bring it here to you. And at some point, we'll have to deal with Cop Hizzle and Philly 500 and other things. But I will see you today. Later.